Hello, everybody. This is José Ignacio from the Uncomfortable Dialogues 2022. Thank you very much for joining us today. We value your participation and feedback.
It is my distinguished honor to have an incredibly special thought leader in our visual studio today. We have the opportunity of talking to Rabbi Arturo Kenner. Arturo is an international speaker with key events in Latin America, Europe, US, and Israel. He focuses on emotional therapy, neurolinguistic coaching, and spirituality. He has a very innovative and interesting coaching program called www.livingwisdomnow.com. During our dialogue today, you will discover how profound and meaningful his thoughts are, and importantly, you will also discover how Arturo challenges the very essence of leadership in the times of crisis. He will share with us his novel idea about leadership. Watch it carefully. It is very meaningful and important. Without any further ado, it is an honor to have Rabbi Arturo in our Uncomfortable Dialogues 2022. How are you doing, Arturo?
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Jose. It's a big pleasure to be with you. I'm very honored to be able to be part of your group and your people you are interviewing in this incredible journey.
We have faced a unique global crisis during the last 2 years. If anything, we have learned how to adapt and move on, in spite of anxiety and uncertainty. In an overly simplified way, how are you coping with the global crisis?
Working to be happy and positive of all this incredible uncertainty that the world is facing.
Well, how do you say that you are trying to get happy, where the media, all the news that we're hearing is about being pessimistic? So it's going to be fake news and bad news about the situation. So how do you deal with happiness?
So first of all, I think that one of the most important things we have to know is that things really are not important. What's important is how we deal with them. And the most important thing about that's called character. In Hebrew, you should know that the word for character, it's midah. Midah means a measure, because measure is to which extent I develop myself towards a situation. A character is the measure of my intellect or my impulse according to a situation. And I think that, I agree with you. Media is very negative and we see all these reports. And I think what's very important is to work not on what's happening outside, but how we're going to relate. And the measure about your humanity is going to be according to that. Are you going to get upset? Are you going to get negative? Are you going to be afraid? Are you going to be... The most important thing in life, my teacher once told me, you always have to work on things that are in control. And the only thing is you're in control is your ideas and your attitudes and the way you react to things. So for me, the most important thing is to try to work on our character, which is our attitudes and the way they reflect, the way we measure our behavior to what's happening in our lives. That's the most important thing, Jose.
Let me stop for a moment, because there is a disconnection between what you are saying and what I've been trained to do. So for every action, there needs to be a reaction. So how we cannot react to the situation we are facing today? We have to react.
So I think it's wonderful, because that's exactly, I think, the greatest opportunity we have right now. Because the opportunity we have right now is that we have to understand that when we don't have any control on what's going on outside, we do have control on our attitudes, on our thoughts, and on the way we want to interpret that reality and how we want to work about it. For example, let's say you see that, that Omicron is extremely contagious, okay? And the people are saying that it's very difficult. Okay, that's a fact, and we have to deal with reality, like you say in your book, which I think is very important. Reality is the most important thing in life. Now, about that, I can just be completely overwhelmed and be worried and speak very bad to my kids and to the people who help in the house and be completely frantic. Or I can say, okay, that's a reality. I'm going to do whatever I can to stay healthy and stay, in a proper perspective. And after that, I'm going to live the present.
You are telling me that I can really build myself through character.
That's the only way we are. What we are is our character. Really, the most important thing in life, because that's the way we are. Whatever attitudes we have, whatever thoughts and behaviors, that's what characterizes a human being. And that's what's most important in life.
Okay, Arturo, I got it. Character is very important. Really important. But is character nurture or nature? Is there any way I can really build my own character?
I think it's an incredible question. In different books and different things are, different people have addressed that question. I'll tell you that I think the most important thing to start with, I think, is gratitude. It's the ability to see what I have, the ability to appreciate what I have, because that opens you from the inner world to an outer world. And that's the key for being happy with yourself, your self-esteem, loving other people, because when you are grateful what other people do to you, you love them. I think that gratitude is the most important character trait, is the ability to see out of yourself and be grateful and appreciate what you have.
Well, I understand it, but what if I have envy? So I am grateful because I have so many things in life, but you have far more things that I do. So how can I cope with this situation?
I think that you're touching, Jose, very, very brightly. I think one of the most difficult things that we're facing today as leaders, as community, and with social media, I think is the recipe for jealousy and envy, because people constantly are just portraying the best things they're living, where they're in a trip, the best scene with their family. And you know what? That creates a whole source of jealousy and envy. You know, competitors see how the ones are saying they're doing these great things, and they publish, all these great results. So what do we do about it? Number one is, when a person appreciates what he has, he doesn't really take so much into question what other people have. To the extent you don't appreciate what you have, you're going to be constantly seeing what other people have. That's number one. Number two, we have a very interesting cognitive dissonance, that when we see something very nice about another person, we just see that thing, but we don't see all what it entails. Fine, that's very nice to see that, but are you willing to have that stress being a CEO of that company? Are you willing to sleep not too many hours? Are you willing to have that amount of, so we just see the nice piece. The way to work on jealousy is to understand that there's a whole picture that we're not seeing. And the third way we deal with jealousy, and that's more of a spiritual perspective, is that we know that we all have come to this world with a mission. And, we're giving the things that we need for the mission. So if you are a person who's aware that your mission, you have the tools for your mission, you're not going to be jealous for other people's tools, because that's what you came for this world for. So a person has to be very much understanding that he has an innate mission and responsibility in this world, and you're giving the tools. So to the extent you appreciate the tools you have and the virtues you have, you're not going to see other people's what they have.
So Arturo, let's talk about leadership. And if we were to Google leadership or go to a digital library, we will get millions of interpretations. So in your opinion, what is leadership?
I think that honestly, the word for leadership, I would change it in the dictionary. I think you're going to agree with me. I don't like the word leadership, because leadership means, I'm here the star, and please, guys, come after me. I like the word givership. I think that I would like to change leadership to givership. A leader is someone who's willing to give. So if I'm a leader, I took the responsibility to want to give to others. So therefore, I agree with you. If I'm in this incredible ability to be grateful and to work on my character and all these things that we have mentioned, and not to be jealous, I think that the leader has to be the person who wants to share all this with other people and create that beautiful synergy that everyone's along those paths. So I think we should start with ourselves, our families, our friends, our communities, and we always start with ourselves, because I think that one of the greatest mistakes that leaders have is that they want to be great leaders for others, but they cannot do it with themselves. And I think that's a complete fallacy, and I don't agree with that.
It has been a lifting dialogue with you today. Thank you very much, Arturo, for your time and your thoughtful ideas. However, since I am the host, I simply cannot let you go so easily. Allow me and the audience to understand what is www.livingwisdomnow.com, and importantly, how we can benefit from it.
So first of all, like the name says, I think that the most important thing in life is to integrate wisdom. I don't like to be a person who just have ideas. So that's why Living Wisdom Now. So it's a very nice thing that I created, where it has two different courses. One is about happiness, but again, I give you the wisdom and I give you the tools to live it now. Also one about interpersonal relationships. How can I have a good interpersonal relationship and to live it now? So that's called Living Wisdom Now. So there's two different courses about happiness and about being in a proper situation with other people. So, just to finish, because you told me a very important question, I would tell you the most important thing in life to work on, it's about in happiness. But I'll tell you why. Happiness is not an ends, it's a means. Happiness is energy. When we're happy, people think that when they're happy, they're going to be relaxed. It's not true. When you're happy, you're full of energy. And my definition of happiness, and I can tell other people who say the same thing, is the ability to have energy to do more things. So one of the most important things in life is to have energy. emotional energy to deal with life. So the most important thing to invest now when there's such a crisis is to be full of energy to be able to deal with having that. So in that course, and I'll give you just a glimpse, I propose all science-based ability for a person to be happy if he flourishes humanity. And that means if I take care of my body properly, I have energy. If I take care of my emotions properly, I'm full of energy. If I take care of my thoughts properly, I'm full of energy. If I take care of my virtues and talents, I get energy. If I get properly, I do with my own meaning and goals in life, I'm full of energy. So I propose that ladder, how to have full flourishment of all the different aspects of your personality. And to the extent you make habits of expressing those things, a person is full of energy. And with energy, we can do anything. That's my proposal.
Rabbi and Arturo, it's really a pleasure, but we have to finish this dialogue. So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you.
For everybody else watching this webcast, if you had any question to Rabbi and Arturo or to myself, just write it down here in LinkedIn and YouTube, and we'll be back to you.
Thank you, Jose. It's a pleasure, and I hope God gives you so much health, happiness, and joy, and wisdom
and
to be able to do many things, and energy, full of energy to be able to do great things like you always do. And thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.